Success is really interesting. Like, you know, is it personal, emotional successes, or is it financial successes? So Andy actually said to me a couple weeks ago, like, someday I'll hit the big time. And I said to him, what is the big time? Like, how do you see the big time? And in his second life, the big time would be comparable to what some of the other vineyard operations are doing in the state. And that, I think, has changed in the last month or so, because we're showing up on smartphones and other things when people are trying to search for vineyards and wineries in the area. We get a lot of calls about when our tasting room hours are, and there's no tasting room. Somebody called to say that they had escaped Hurricane Irene and they were in from Norfolk, and could they come by? Somebody said she had 15 relatives in from Birmingham and they wanted to come by. We've had 3 calls about wedding packages. I mean, things that we can't provide those kinds of services. We love the idea of doing that at some point. We have a spot picked out, should we ever be able to buy the land from Andy's mom and be able to put a building in and deal with issues with her, like access to the road and right-of-way and liability and those kinds of things. But right now, that's not a conversation that she wants to have with us. And financially, that's something we must be able to do independently in order to have enough revenue. In our minds, that type of a venue would generate the revenue that we need in order to buy, slowly but surely, you know, buy the land, acquire the equipment so that it doesn't just get liquidated in an estate auction at some point. Work with Andy's brother and sister, who are not interested in the operation, but are also not that willing to just see us inherit it. To figure out what would be reasonable and fair to them so that we can try and work with them. I would say, from the standpoint of solely being a vineyard operator and a grower, we have achieved success. We have contracts negotiated with some of the best winemakers in the state. People want our fruit. We don't grow enough fruit for what people want from us. People are willing to have us plant additional blocks if we were ever able to do that. So we're respected in that regard, and we do what we do really well. And as far as even the size, 20 acres is a little bit bigger than the state average size, so we're not teeny weeny anymore. We grow more tonnage of a single variety than some of the other vineyards in our area grow on their entire operation, with everything combined. And so as a vineyard, we're successful. As an operation, we have a very definite idea of how we could get to that point of being successful and being financially stable. We can't afford to give up our day jobs right now, because every penny that comes back in from the fruit goes right back into it. And we've hit that, we're going to hit that ceiling. And we have some acres that are still getting to the point where they're full load bearing. And we had some issues with inappropriate, like rootstock that was mismarked and things that came from nurseries a couple of years ago. So we have a lot of replants that are still coming on board, but within the next 2 years, we're going to be at our maximum crop load, and so we'll hit that ceiling. That will be it as far as the income potential off of those 20 acres, and that's not enough yet to sustain 2 families on that farm. They have been involved since the very beginning. We have pictures of the girls the first year we planted, like literally at, you know, age 1, small enough to get down inside of the hole that we were going to stick a plant in, you know, and putting a plant down in there. And then, you know, now here, you know, as big as the mature vines and doing their own science projects and experiments related to the vineyard. But I think that it's interesting too, because they've always grown up with it and they haven't come into it. There's certain aspects of it that they take for granted, and I don't want them to take it for granted. Like, they know that it's really cool because there aren't other kids in their schools that also come from production operations and aren't involved with it day to day, and their teachers find it fascinating. Some of the other kids don't think it's so cool. But they're starting to have now very specific ideas of how they might be involved with it someday, which is pretty cool. Like they already, you know, they all have a list of which pieces of equipment they want to learn how to run, and who knows how to run what tests, and who gets to help with sampling, and who gets to help with giving the calves their shots, and who gets to help with these things where, you know, before they were little enough that they couldn't help with anything, so they knew it was something we went out and did and then came back. So they're getting more involved with it.